Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Nature channel. Take a gentle breath in and let it out slowly. Tonight, we're going to wander together through a soft world where cats move like living whispers, where purring becomes a lullaby, and where 1,000 small moments remind us how beautiful it is to simply be. Let yourself sink into this journey. There's nowhere you need to go, nothing you need to do. Just breathe and let the stories carry you. Cats have been walking beside us for nearly 10,000 years. Imagine that. 10,000 years of soft paws, of gentle companionship, of creatures who chose to stay near our warmth and share our homes. In ancient times, they wandered from the wild grasses into human settlements, drawn by the mice in grain stores, and somehow, slowly, they became part of our lives. A cat's purr vibrates between 25 and 150 times per second. Feel that rhythm in your mind, a steady, calming hum that seems to say, everything is well, everything is safe. Scientists believe this frequency can actually help heal bones and reduce stress. The purr is medicine wrapped in fur. When a cat closes its eyes slowly at you, it's giving you a kiss, a slow blink, a gesture of trust so profound that it says, I feel safe with you. I can close my eyes in your presence. Try it with a cat sometime and watch as they blink back, a conversation without words, pure and simple. Cats sleep between 12 and 16 hours a day. Imagine that kind of rest, that surrender to softness. They understand something we often forget, that rest is sacred, that doing nothing is sometimes doing everything. Their whiskers are exactly as wide as their body, nature's perfect measuring tool. In the darkness, a cat can feel the air shift around a doorway and know instantly, will I fit through? The world speaks to them through those delicate sensors, telling stories of space and wind and possibility. A cat's nose print is as unique as a human fingerprint. Each tiny pattern of ridges and bumps is theirs alone, a signature written in flesh, unrepeatable across all the world. When cats knead with their paws, that gentle pushing motion, claws extending and retracting, they're remembering. They're back with their mother, nursing as kittens, pushing against her warmth to make the milk flow. Even as adults, they return to that first comfort, that first safety. We all carry our earliest peace within us, waiting to surface. Cats can rotate their ears 180 degrees. Imagine having that kind of awareness, able to listen behind you without turning, able to catch the whisper of a leaf falling 3 gardens away. They live in a world of sound we can barely imagine. The ancient Egyptians loved cats so deeply that when a family cat died, the whole household would shave their eyebrows in mourning. They mummified cats with the same care as pharaohs, sent them into eternity, wrapped in linen and love. A cat's heart beats about twice as fast as yours, around 120 to 140 times per minute. Inside that small chest, a drum of life keeps perfect time, fast and fierce and constant. If you're enjoying these gentle moments, I'd love it if you left a comment below, maybe about a cat you've known or a memory that makes you smile. And if this helps you relax, a like truly helps others find this peaceful space too. Cats have a third eyelid called a nictitating membrane. It's a thin, translucent shield that slides across their eye, keeping it moist and protected. Sometimes you can see it when they're very relaxed, just beginning to wake. A ghostly curtain, there and gone. They can jump up to 6 times their body length in a single bound. All that coiled power in those hind legs released in one fluid motion, grace and strength woven together. A group of cats is called a clouder. The word itself feels soft, round, like something you could hold in your hand. A clouder of cats in the afternoon sun, each one dreaming their own dream. Cats have 32 muscles in each ear, 32 tiny instruments of movement, allowing each ear to swivel independently, to track sounds we'll never hear, to paint a sonic picture of the world. Their tongue is covered in tiny backward-facing barbs called papillae. That's why their lick feels like sandpaper, gentle but insistent. It's designed to strip meat from bones, but also to groom themselves perfectly, to clean their coat until it shines. When a cat brings you a dead mouse or bird, it's not being cruel. It's teaching you to hunt, the way a mother cat teaches her kittens. It's an act of love, however misguided it might seem. They see you as family who needs to learn. Cats can't taste sweetness. The receptor for sweet flavors simply doesn't exist on their tongue. They live in a world without sugar, without dessert, content with the savory richness of meat and earth. A cat's brain is more similar to a human's than a dog's brain. 90% of the regions in our brains match theirs. We're closer to cats than we might think. Fellow travelers through consciousness, sharing this strange journey of awareness. They spend nearly a third of their waking hours grooming themselves. Imagine dedicating that much time to care, to cleanliness, to the meditation of licking each paw and drawing it across your face over and over until everything is exactly right. Cats have been to space. In 1963, France sent a cat named Felicette beyond the Earth's atmosphere. She returned safely, the only cat to have touched the stars and come home to tell about it. Though what stories she might have told, we can only imagine. Their field of vision is about 200 degrees. They can see the world spread wide around them, missing only a small wedge directly behind their head. They are built to be aware, to be watchful, to know what approaches. If you haven't already, check out our playlist for more gentle stories like this one. Each one a journey into calm, into the soft spaces where peace lives. Cats can make over 100 different vocal sounds. Dogs can make about 10. Cats are poets, musicians, storytellers speaking in a language of chirps and trills and meows. Each one slightly different, each one meaning something specific to those who learn to listen. When a cat rubs against you, it's marking you with scent glands located on its face, paws, and tail. You become part of their world, part of their territory. You smell like home to them now. You belong. Breathe gently as we continue. Let these small wonders wash over you like warm water. A cat can run up to 30 miles per hour in short bursts. Imagine that contained speed, all those muscles coiled and ready, then released in a flash of fur and determination. But most of the time, they choose stillness. They know when to move and when to rest. Cats have been known to find their way home from hundreds of miles away. Something in them remembers. Some internal compass, some deep knowing pulls them back toward familiar ground, toward the scent of home, step by patient step. A cat's flexible spine allows it to twist and reorient mid-fall. They almost always land on their feet, thanks to an innate ability called the righting reflex. They understand in their bodies how to meet the earth with grace. the richest cat in the world, inherited $13 million. Blackie, a British cat, was left a fortune by his devoted owner. Somewhere, perhaps, Blackie's descendants still nap on silk cushions, unbothered by wealth, as cats should be. Cats have a special reflective layer behind their retinas called the tapetum lucidum. It's why their eyes shine in the dark, green or gold or silver. They gather light we cannot see, reflecting it back, making the darkness brighter for themselves. They can detect earthquakes 10 to 15 minutes before humans feel them. Perhaps they sense the subtle vibrations through their paws or hear frequencies we cannot. They know when the earth is about to speak. A cat's claws are like our fingernails, made of keratin, constantly growing. They shed the outer sheaths like transparent husks. When they scratch, they're not being destructive. They're maintaining themselves, keeping their tools sharp and clean. Cats spend 70% of their lives sleeping. Think of all those hours in dreamland, in that soft space between awareness and oblivion. They are masters of the art we all need most, the art of true rest. When cats chatter at birds through a window, making that strange, stuttering sound, they might be mimicking bird calls or practicing their hunting bite. They're imagining, perhaps, dreaming with their eyes open, of wings between their teeth. The oldest known pet cat existed 9,500 years ago. A grave in Cyprus held the bones of a human and a cat buried together. Even then, even so long ago, we chose each other as companions for the journey into eternity. Cats can see in just 1/6 the light required for human vision. The world never goes completely dark for them. There is always something to see, always a shape moving through the shadows. I hope you're feeling the softness of these moments. If you'd like to share what relaxes you most about cats, the comments are always open. I love hearing your stories. A cat's cerebral cortex has 300 million neurons. A dog's has about 160 million. Inside that small, elegant head is a universe of thought, of memory, of feline understanding. They can't climb down trees head first because their claws curve the wrong way. They have to back down, slowly, awkwardly, learning humility after their confident ascent. Even cats must sometimes retreat with patience. Cats don't meow at each other, only at humans. They developed this language specifically for us, learning what sounds make us respond, what tones open doors or fill bowls. They speak human in their way. A falling cat always rights itself in the same order. First the head, then the spine, then the back legs. The tail does a small twirl for balance. It's a dance they know by instinct, choreographed by evolution. Cats have scent glands between their toes. Every step leaves a message. I was here. This path is mine. They write their autobiography in molecules we cannot read. The technical term for a hairball is a bezoar. But whatever you call it, it's just part of life with a cat, a small inconvenience in exchange for all that companionship, all that purring warmth. Cats can't see directly below their nose. There's a blind spot there, which is why they sometimes have trouble finding treats placed right in front of them. They must feel their way to what's closest. Sir Isaac Newton is credited with inventing the cat door. He cut holes in his door for his cats to come and go freely. Even genius bows to the needs of cats, makes space for their independence. A cat's tail contains about 10% of all the bones in its body. 23 vertebrae, articulated and flexible. A living exclamation point. expressing every emotion: joy, fear, curiosity, contentment. They can drink seawater. Their kidneys are efficient enough to filter out the salt, extracting fresh water from the brine. They carry a desalination plant within them, small and perfect. Check the playlist when you have a moment. There are many more journeys waiting, each one designed to carry you gently towards sleep. Cats have a lower social IQ than dogs, but a higher ability to solve difficult cognitive problems on their own. They don't need approval. They need challenges they can meet alone in their own time. A cat uses its whiskers to determine if a space is too small to squeeze through. The whiskers are as wide as the body, a perfect template. Nature's own measuring tape, sensitive and precise. They can't focus on anything less than a foot in front of them. What's too close becomes blur. This is why they sniff what they cannot see. Their nose completes what their eyes cannot. Cats have a primordial pouch, that flap of skin and fat that hangs below their belly. It's not fat from overeating. It's a natural part of their anatomy, designed to protect vital organs during fights and allow greater extension when running and jumping. When your cat slowly opens and closes its paws while sitting, it's content, kneading the air, making invisible biscuits, working joy through its body like dough. Breathe with me, in and out. Let the stories continue, soft as paw steps. The oldest cat on record lived to be 38 years old. Cream Puff from Texas saw 4 decades turn, witnessed the world change, and still greeted each morning with whiskers forward. Time moves differently for cats. 9 lives compressed into 1, perhaps. Cats can change the characteristics of their meow to manipulate humans. When they want something, they mix a cry frequency similar to a baby's wail into their meow. We are hardwired to respond. They know our vulnerabilities and use them with precision. A cat's nose is ridged with a unique pattern. If you could take its print, you'd have a map unlike any other in the world. Each cat carries its own signature, pressed in flesh. They groom each other to bond, not just to clean. When 2 cats wash each other's faces and ears, they're saying, "You are my family. I care for you." It's affection, made tangible. Cats have a Jacobson's organ on the roof of their mouth. When they smell something intensely interesting, they open their mouth in a grimace called flaming, drawing scent across this special organ to analyze it more deeply. They taste the air, read its secrets. A cat in a square, any square made of tape, rope, or drawn on the ground, will almost always sit in it. Something about the boundary appeals to them, the definition of space. Here is a place. Here I will rest. Their purr can vary in frequency based on what they want. A solicitation purr combines a higher-pitched sound with a normal purr, more urgent, more demanding. Even in contentment, they can ask. Cats have twice as many neurons in their cerebral cortex as dogs. Their brain is a dense forest of connections, thoughts branching and interweaving in patterns we can only guess at. They can rotate their front paws inward to grip prey or climb. Those front legs are incredibly flexible, built for grasping and holding, for pulling themselves up tree trunks towards safety or birds. If this gentle rhythm is helping you relax, I'd be so grateful if you'd leave a like. It helps others find their way to this peaceful corner of the internet. A cat's average lifespan is about 15 years, though many live longer. 15 years of sun patches on the floor, of purring in laps, of watching the world through window glass, 15 years of quiet companionship. They prefer their food at room temperature, about the same temperature as fresh prey. Cold food from the refrigerator doesn't appeal. They are programmed for the warmth of life, not the chill of storage. Cats have an exceptional memory. Studies show they can recall events for up to 16 hours, far longer than dogs. What they choose to remember, though, is their own business. When a cat shows you its belly, it's a sign of trust, not an invitation to touch. The belly is vulnerable, soft. To expose it says, "I feel safe with you." Many cats still don't want it touched. Trust doesn't always mean contact. They can be right-pawed or left-pawed. Female cats tend to be right-pawed. Males tend to be left-pawed. Even in this, they show preference, personality, individual choice. A cat's sense of smell is 14 times stronger than a human's. The world comes to them first as scent, layered, complex, telling stories of who passed by and when, what the weather will bring, whether dinner is near. They have 30 teeth, sharp, efficient, designed for tearing and cutting. A small armory hidden behind those whiskered lips. Cats can't see in complete darkness, but their night vision is exceptional. In dim light, they see 6 to 8 times better than we do. Dusk and dawn are their kingdom, the in-between times when light is soft. A cat walking on a keyboard is looking for warmth and attention. The keyboard is warm from the computer's heat, and it's directly between you and your screen, the perfect place to demand notice. They sleep curled up to conserve body heat and protect vital organs. That tight ball of fur is practical, efficient. Even in sleep, they are prepared. You might want to explore the playlist later, each video a different doorway into calm, into the soft world where stress cannot follow. Cats have a rough tongue to help them groom effectively. Those papillae work like a comb, catching loose fur, removing dirt. They carry their own grooming tool wherever they go. They can run faster than Usain Bolt over short distances. In a sprint, a cat can briefly outpace the fastest human who ever lived. Speed coiled in muscle, released when needed, then just as quickly set aside. A cat's whiskers are rooted 3 times deeper than regular hair. They connect to muscular and nervous systems, sending information directly to the brain. Touch one whisker and the whole cat knows. When cats rub their head on you, they're marking you with pheromones from glands around their face. You become part of their scent map of the world, a familiar landmark in the territory of home. They can jump up to 5 feet vertically. From standing still to soaring, the power in those hind legs is extraordinary, compressed potential energy waiting for release. Breathe deeply. Feel yourself settling. Let the stories continue like a gentle stream. A cat's body temperature is about 101.5 degrees Fahrenheit, a few degrees warmer than ours. To touch a cat is to touch a small furnace of life, steady and warm. Cats don't have a true collarbone. Instead, they have a free-floating clavicle attached to muscles. This lets them squeeze through any opening their head can fit through. They are liquid when they need to be. They hate citrus smells. Oranges, lemons, limes. The scent is overwhelming to their sensitive noses. What's refreshing to us is repellent to them. A cat can spend up to 1/3 of its waking hours grooming. That's dedication to cleanliness, to order, to making the world right, one lick at a time. They have an acute sense of balance, thanks to their vestibular apparatus in the inner ear. They walk narrow ledges with confidence, knowing exactly where their body is in space. Cats can be allergic to humans, our skin cells, our dander. Sometimes it triggers their immune system, just as theirs can trigger ours. Even they can be sensitive to us. When a cat's tail is straight up with a slight curve at the tip, it's happy and confident. The tail is a flag broadcasting mood to anyone who knows how to read it. They have a third eyelid that appears when they're unwell or sleepy. If you can see it often, something might need attention. The body shows its needs in subtle ways. Cats can make a sound called chirping or chattering when watching birds. It might be frustration or practice or excitement. A small, rapid clicking that speaks of hunter's longing. A cat that headbutts you is showing deep affection. Bunting, they call it. Pressing their forehead against you, mingling scents, saying without words, "You are mine, and I am yours." If these whispers are guiding you toward sleep, a comment sharing your own peaceful moment with cats would mean the world and help build this gentle community. Cats have remarkable hearing, able to detect frequencies up to 64,000 hertz. We can hear up to about 20,000 hertz. They listen to symphonies we cannot imagine, pitched beyond our range. They can't move their eyes side to side as much as humans can. Instead, they turn their whole head. Watch a cat watching something. The head swivels, follows, tracks. A cat's kidneys are so efficient they can survive on seawater. Though they shouldn't have to, they could, filtering, extracting, making do with what the ocean offers. When cats need on you, it can be uncomfortable when their claws come out, but it means they're utterly content, lost in memory, back in the safest moment they've ever known. They have a limited range for focusing their eyes. From about a foot to about 20 feet is sharpest. Beyond that, the world softens into impression rather than detail. Cats can't resist a good cardboard box. Something about the enclosed space appeals to their instinct for shelter, for hiding, for having walls close enough to touch. They shed their claws like we shed skin. The outer layer comes off in translucent sheaths, revealing the sharp new claw beneath. Constant renewal, constant readiness. A cat's spine is incredibly flexible, with 30 more vertebrae than humans have. They can twist and turn in ways that seem impossible. Their body, a fluid thing. They spend about 15% of their day in light sleep, where they can wake instantly, and about 50% in deep sleep, dreaming whatever cats dream. When a cat licks you, it's grooming you as it would groom itself or another cat. You are family. You are worthy of care. Our playlist holds many more stories like this. Feel free to visit when you need another gentle journey into rest. Cats have a specialized collarbone that allows them to always land on their feet. More accurately, they have almost no collarbone, just a small floating bone that lets the shoulder blades move independently. They can go without water for a while because they originally evolved in desert climates. Their kidneys are remarkably efficient, concentrating urine to conserve every drop. A cat's sense of taste is less developed than ours. They have only about 470 taste buds compared to our 9,000. But they taste what matters to them: meat, salt, the essential things. When cats scratch furniture, they're not being destructive. They're marking territory with scent glands in their paws and keeping their claws healthy. It's maintenance and communication combined. They can sense changes in atmospheric pressure, which might explain why they sometimes act strange before storms. The air itself tells them something is coming. Let your breathing slow, in through your nose, out through your mouth, soft and steady as a sleeping cat. A cat can fit through any space it can get its head through, thanks to that free floating clavicle. If the skull fits, the body follows, fluid, adaptable, determined. Cats have a preferred paw for complex tasks, just as we have a dominant hand. Watch them reach for something high up, and you'll see the same paw leading. They have approximately 200 million scent receptors in their nose. We have about 5 million. The world is a library of smells to them, each scent a story. When a cat brings you prey and meows loudly, it might be trying to teach you to hunt. You're family, and family needs to learn survival skills. Cats can retract their claws, but not completely. The tips still show. Those little points are always there, ready, just beneath the soft paw. A cat's heart beats about twice as fast as a human's during normal activity. That quick rhythm, that constant drumming, life moving at double speed inside a small chest. They have excellent peripheral vision, seeing about 285 degrees around them. The world wraps around their awareness, leaving only a small blind spot directly behind. When a cat flicks its tail rapidly, it's annoyed or overstimulated. The tail speaks what the mouth doesn't. Watch it, and you'll know when to give space. Cats groom themselves after eating to remove the scent of food that might attract predators. Old instincts remain, even in houses where no predator prowls. They can drink milk as kittens, but often become lactose intolerant as adults. That bowl of milk from the stories is actually not ideal. Water is what they need most. If you're drifting peacefully, I'd love to share this calm with others who might need it tonight. A cat's normal body temperature ranges from 100.5 to 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit. A living warmth, steady and strong. A biological furnace wrapped in fur. They have scent glands on their cheeks, forehead, chin, and the base of their tail. Everywhere they rub, they leave a message. I was here. This is mine. Cats can be crepuscular, most active at dawn and dusk. Those twilight hours call to something in them, the hunter's instinct awakening when light is soft and prey is careless. When a cat slow blinks at you and you slow blink back, you're engaging in a conversation of trust. No words needed, just the language of closing eyes. They have a writing reflex that develops by 7 weeks of age. Before that, kittens can fall awkwardly, but once learned, the body remembers forever. A cat's memory is better for things that are important to survival, where food is kept, where danger lurks, who can be trusted. They remember what matters. They can't taste sweetness because they lack the gene for sweet receptors. The world of desserts is closed to them. They are carnivores through and through. When cats purr, they do it both inhaling and exhaling. The sound never stops, just continues in a loop, a biological meditation. A cat sheds its coat seasonally in response to changes in daylight. The sun tells their body when to release winter fur, when to grow it back. They're attuned to the rhythms of light. They can hear ultrasonic sounds made by rodents. What seems like silence to us is full of tiny squeaks and calls they can detect and track. The playlist is always there when you need more. Gentle stories, waiting like old friends. Cats have a special reflective layer called tapetum lucidum that makes their eyes glow in photos and at night. They catch light and throw it back, making darkness luminous. They can rotate their ears independently, each one tracking different sounds. The world comes to them in stereo, every direction monitored. A cat's nose pad is textured uniquely for each individual. Like our fingerprints, no two are exactly alike, a signature written in ridges of flesh. When cats arch their back and their fur stands up, they're making themselves look larger to ward off threats. Even in fear, they have strategies, defenses. They can run at about 30 miles per hour for very short distances. Speed is available to them, but they prefer to save it for when it truly matters. Breathe. Just breathe. Feel the softness of this moment wrapping around you like fur in sunlight. A cat's whiskers can detect even the slightest changes in air currents. They can see the shape of a room in darkness by feeling how air moves around objects. The world speaks to them through pressure and flow. Cats have a third eyelid called the haw that you rarely see unless they're sick or very sleepy. It's a protective membrane, a shield for precious vision. They have an extremely sensitive sense of touch in their paws. The pads feel texture, temperature, vibration. Each step gathers information about the ground beneath. When a cat makes biscuits on you with its paws, it's in a state of contentment so deep it's regressed to kittenhood. That kneading was how they stimulated milk flow from their mother. You've become safety itself. Cats can jump approximately 7 times their height. A 6-foot human jumping 7 times their height would clear 42 feet. The power in those legs is extraordinary. A cat sleeps so much, partly because hunting takes enormous energy in the wild. Even though domestic cats don't hunt for survival, the biology remains. Conserve energy, rest, be ready. They have a ritualized fighting behavior with other cats, the sideways hop, the puffed tail, the arched back. It's theater before battle, a chance for one to back down without bloodshed. When cats chatter their teeth at birds, they might be practicing the killing bite, that precise neck bite that severs the spine. Even through glass, they rehearse, they prepare. A cat's shoulder blades are attached to the rest of the skeleton only by muscle, not bone. This gives them incredible flexibility and allows those amazing contortions. They can survive falls from great heights because of their terminal velocity and ability to relax and spread out, creating a kind of parachute effect. They become air resistant, slowing their descent. I hope you're feeling the gentle weight of sleep approaching. A-like helps others find this restful space too. Just a small gesture of sharing peace. Cats have fewer taste buds than humans, but they can taste something we can't. ATP, the molecule that provides energy in living cells. They can taste aliveness in their food. When a cat rubs against your legs in a figure-8 pattern, it's showing affection and also claiming you as part of its territory. You are home to them. They have a highly developed sense of their body in space called proprioception. They always know where their paws are, where their tail is, how they're oriented. Perfect self-awareness. A cat's eyes are proportionally huge compared to its head. If human eyes were proportionally the same size, they'd be 8 inches across. We'd see the world very differently. Cats can recognize their owner's voice, but often choose not to respond. Studies show they hear and understand. They just decide whether acknowledging is worth their time. They have a special scent gland at the base of their tail. When they raise their tail high and vibrate it slightly, They're marking with scent. This is mine. I was here. When a cat lies on its back with paws up, it's completely relaxed. But it doesn't necessarily want belly rubs. That exposed belly is trust, not invitation. Cats have about 20 muscles controlling their ears. Each ear can move independently, swiveling to track sounds with incredible precision. They prefer running water to still water in a bowl. It's instinct. Running water is fresher, safer, less likely to be contaminated. The movement means life. A cat's sandpaper tongue is perfect for grooming. Those tiny hooks catch loose fur, remove dirt, distribute natural oils through their coat. Check the playlist for more journeys like this one. Each story a soft path toward rest and peace. Cats can make over 100 different sounds. They have a vocabulary that changes based on who they're talking to and what they want. They can see some colors, primarily blues and greens, but not reds and pinks. The world is painted in cooler tones for them, less vivid perhaps, but rich in its own way. When a cat suddenly races around the house for no apparent reason, it's called the zoomies, a sudden burst of energy that needs release. Pure joy, pure aliveness expressed in speed. Cats have a specialized muscle that allows them to unsheathe their claws. It's voluntary control, conscious choice, claws out or claws in, depending on need. They can sense when their humans are sad or sick and often stay close during those times. Some awareness in them recognizes vulnerability and responds with presence. Let your eyes grow heavy. Let your body sink deeper into comfort. The stories continue, soft and endless. A cat's purr is one of the most soothing sounds in nature. The frequency, the constancy, the vibration. It reaches something primal in us, something that knows this sound means safety. Cats groom themselves to regulate body temperature. Saliva evaporating from their fur cools them down in heat. They are their own climate control system. They have an exceptional ability to squeeze into tight spaces because they lack a rigid collarbone. What looks impossible is often just barely possible for a determined cat. When cats stare at walls or empty corners, they might be seeing or hearing things we can't, insects too small for us to notice, sounds beyond our range, movements in peripheral vision. A cat's retractable claws are a marvel of engineering. Ligaments hold them in a retracted position, and when the cat flexes its toes, the claws extend. Simple, elegant, effective. They can live for weeks without food if they have water, though of course they shouldn't have to. Their bodies are efficient, designed for survival in lean times. When a cat tucks its paws under its body, loafing, it's comfortable and not expecting to need to run. A loaf cat is a content cat, settled and secure. Cats have been kept as pets for over 4,000 years, but they've only been truly domesticated for maybe the last 100. They still retain much of their wildness, their independence. They can detect pregnancy in humans, likely through changes in hormones and behavior. Some cats become more protective, more attentive, sensing the vulnerability of new life growing. A cat's fur pattern is determined by genetics, but also by slight variations during development. Even cloned cats don't look identical. Each pattern is unique. If this is helping you relax, your like truly makes a difference. It helps YouTube share this gentle content with others seeking peace. Cats can see in 1/6 the light level required for human vision. They gather light like treasures, using every photon to build a picture of the dim world. When a cat's pupils dilate, It can mean excitement, fear, or low light. Context matters. The same physical response can mean very different emotional states. They have a flexible spine that allows them to fit through incredibly tight spaces. 23 tail vertebrae plus 30 more in the spine create incredible flexibility. A cat's hearing is among the best of any mammal. They can hear frequencies from 48 hertz to 85 kilohertz. Humans top out around 20 kilohertz. Whole octaves of sound exist that we'll never hear. When cats sleep curled in a ball with their tail over their nose, they're conserving heat. That tail is insulation. That curl is efficiency. They have a righting reflex, but it takes about 3 feet of falling to complete the turn. Falls from very short heights can actually be more dangerous because there's no time to rotate. Cats sometimes steal small objects and hide them. Socks, hair ties, bottle caps, trinkets gathered and stashed in secret places. They are collectors of small mysteries. When a cat lowers its body and creeps with its belly close to the ground, it's in hunting mode. Every muscle focused, every sense engaged, ready to pounce. A cat's body language is complex. Tail position, ear angle, pupil size, whisker direction. Each element combines to tell a story of mood and intention. They prefer their water bowl to not be right next to their food bowl. In nature, water sources near kill sites can be contaminated. Old instincts guide preferences. Our playlist has many more stories waiting, gentle companions for when you need to find your way back to calm. Cats can drink salt water because their kidneys are so efficient, but they shouldn't rely on it. Fresh water is always better, always preferred. When a cat grooms you, it's treating you as part of its family. That rough tongue on your hand or face is acceptance, affection, belonging. They have a better sense of smell than humans, but not as good as dogs. Somewhere in the middle, enough to navigate by scent, to recognize friends, to detect danger. A cat's nose is cool and slightly damp, which helps it detect scent molecules in the air. The moisture traps odor particles, analyzes them. When cats knead with their claws out, they're completely absorbed in contentment. The slight pain is worth it. They're telling you they love you in the only way they know. Close your eyes if you haven't already. Let the darkness be soft and welcoming. Let sleep approach like a gentle cat, quiet and warm. Cats have a nictitating membrane that sweeps across their eye from the inner corner to the outer. It cleans and protects without requiring full blinking. They can spend hours watching birds through a window, utterly focused. It's not frustration, it's engagement, presence, the joy of observing life in motion. When a cat presents its backside to you, tail up, it's not being rude. It's a gesture of trust and friendship, the feline equivalent of a handshake. A cat's hunting instinct is triggered by movement. Even a well-fed cat will chase and pounce because the drive isn't about hunger, it's about the chase itself, the pursuit. They have about 240 bones in their body, significantly more than the 206 in humans. All those extra vertebrae create their famous flexibility. When cats sit in high places, they're not being aloof, they're following instinct. Height means safety, visibility, control. They can see everything from up there. A cat's sense of balance is controlled by the vestibular apparatus in the inner ear, just like in humans. But theirs is extraordinarily sensitive, allowing for acrobatic feats. They sometimes eat grass to help with digestion or to induce vomiting when they have an upset stomach. It's self-medication, instinctive medicine. When a cat touches noses with you, it's a greeting. Hello, I recognize you. You are safe. Touch as communication, simple and pure. Cats can remember people and places for years, even after long absences. The memory is selective. They remember what matters to them. If these stories are carrying you gently toward sleep, a comment about your favorite cat memory would be lovely to read and helps others find this peaceful corner. A cat's whiskers grow to approximately the width of its body. If the whiskers fit through a gap, the body will too, a built-in measuring system. When cats walk, they place each hind paw almost exactly in the print left by the corresponding forepaw. This minimizes noise and visible tracks, the walk of a hunter silent and precise. They have an exceptional ability to judge distance and leap with precision. Those calculations happen in milliseconds. Distance, angle, force required, all computed instinctively. A cat's tail contains 19 to 23 vertebrae, about 10% of all the bones in its body. It's an extension of the spine, flexible and expressive. When cats hiss, they're not being mean, they're afraid. The hiss is defensive, a warning. I'm scared, stay back, I don't want to fight. It's honesty, not aggression. They can survive without food for about 2 weeks if they have water. Their metabolism slows, their body conserves, but they should never have to endure such hardship. When a cat's ears flatten against its head, it's either scared or angry. Those ears pressed down are protection, keeping them safe from bites during a potential fight. Cats can make a chirping sound when greeting their humans, a small, bright sound of recognition and joy. You're home. I'm glad. They have a strong instinct to bury their waste, covering it to hide their scent from predators and competitors. Even in a litter box, the ancient behavior persists. A cat that follows you from room to room wants to be near you, not necessarily on you, not demanding attention, just near. Your presence is enough. Visit the playlist when you need more gentle stories, each one crafted to help you drift away from worry and into rest. When cats slow blink, they're releasing tension, showing contentment. It's feline meditation, a moment of peace made visible. They can see sudden movement better than slow movement. A mouse running is instantly detected. A snail creeping might be ignored. They're built to catch quick prey. A cat's claws are like layers of an onion. As they shed the outer layer, the sharp new claw emerges beneath, constant renewal, always ready. When cats meow in different tones, they're communicating different needs. A higher pitch often means urgency. A lower rumble might be complaint or greeting. They have an excellent memory for routines. Feeding time, bedtime, when you usually come home. They know the schedule, and they'll remind you if you're late. Let the weight of sleep settle over you like a soft blanket. Let your muscles release. Let peace fill every space. Cats can pick up on our emotions through our body language, tone of voice, and even our scent. When we're stressed, they often know before we fully recognize it ourselves. They sleep in many positions, each one indicating something about how safe they feel. A cat sleeping on its back is utterly secure. A cat curled tight is conserving warmth or feeling vulnerable. When a cat stares at you and slow blinks, returning the slow blink strengthens your bond. It's a conversation in the language of trust. repeated back and forth. A cat's grooming is methodical, always starting with the paws, washing the face, then moving down the body. There's an order to it, a ritual of cleanliness. They can be trained, contrary to popular belief. It just requires patience and an understanding of what motivates them. Usually food, sometimes play, occasionally just the joy of learning. When cats bring their toys to you and meow, they might be inviting you to play or showing off their catch. Either way, it's inclusion. You're part of the pride. A cat's average weight ranges from 8 to 12 pounds, though some breeds are much larger or smaller. Each body carries its own perfect proportion. They have an extraordinary sense of hearing, able to detect the ultrasonic calls of rodents, sounds pitched too high for human ears. They hear in dimensions we cannot access. When a cat's tail is puffed up, it's trying to appear larger. Whether from fear or playfulness, the intent is the same. Look bigger, more formidable. Cats can remember the layout of their territory in detail. Every hiding spot, every sunny patch, every route of escape, it's all mapped in memory. If you're feeling peaceful, a like would be wonderful. It's a simple way to help others discover this gentle refuge. A cat's teeth are designed for tearing and cutting, not chewing. They bite and swallow, efficient and direct. When cats rub their face on corners or furniture edges, they're depositing scent from glands on their cheeks. The world is marked with their presence, invisible but real. They can survive falls from high places better than falls from medium heights because they have time to relax their bodies and spread out like a parachute. A cat's normal respiration rate is about 20 to 40 breaths per minute. Watch the gentle rise and fall of their chest, the rhythm of life, steady and constant. When cats twitch their tail tip while watching something, they're intensely focused. The rest of the body is still, but that tail tip betrays excitement, readiness. They can go into a deep sleep within 15 minutes. When they decide it's time to rest, they commit fully, surrendering to sleep without hesitation. A cat's paw pads are extraordinarily sensitive to temperature and texture. They can feel the difference between surfaces, choose soft over hard, warm over cold. When cats groom excessively in one spot, it might be stress or discomfort. The body tells its troubles through behavior, asking for help in the only way it knows. They prefer elevated feeding stations because it's easier on their neck and matches how they'd eat in nature. Head up, watching for threats, even while eating. A cat's normal water intake is relatively small. They're desert adapted, getting much of their hydration from prey in the wild. Dry food requires more drinking than wet food. The playlist continues this journey through many nights, stories to return to whenever you need this kind of peace. When cats sleep near you, they're showing trust. Sleep is vulnerability, and choosing to be vulnerable near you means you've been accepted, recognized as safe. They can detect the Earth's magnetic field, which might help with navigation. Something in them senses the invisible lines of force that wrap around the planet. A cat's digestive system is short and designed for meat. Plant matter is difficult for them to process. They are obligate carnivores, built for flesh. When cats scratch after using the litter box, they're not always covering waste. Sometimes they're just marking the area with scent from glands in their paws. They have a third eyelid that usually only shows when they're unwell, injured, or extremely relaxed. If you see it often, something deserves attention. Let your breathing deepen. Feel yourself floating on these words like leaves on water, drifting gently towards sleep. A cat can rotate its hind legs independently of its front legs during a fall, which helps it land properly. The body becomes its own gyroscope, self-correcting mid-air. When cats lick their lips after grooming you, they're processing your scent more deeply. The taste of you becomes part of their sensory understanding. They have an excellent sense of time. They know when feeding should happen, when you should return home. Some internal clock keeps track, remarkably accurate. A cat's meow is primarily used to communicate with humans, not other cats. They developed this vocalization specifically for us, learning what sounds get responses. When cats need rapidly, with a glazed look in their eyes, they're in a state of bliss. The world has fallen away, leaving only comfort and memory. They can see in color, but not as vividly as humans. The world is somewhat muted for them, less saturated, but rich in other ways, in texture, in movement, in scent. When a cat wraps its tail around you, it's an embrace, a gesture of affection as clear as any hug offered in the feline way. A cat's heart can beat up to 240 beats per minute when excited or frightened. Inside that small body, life races intense and fast. They prefer routine and predictable environments. Change is stressful for many cats. They like to know what to expect, when things will happen, where everything belongs. When cats sleep with their eyes partially open, they're in a light doze, still monitoring, still aware, ready to wake fully if needed. I hope this journey is bringing you peace. A comment about what helps you relax would be lovely and helps build this gentle community we're creating together. A cat's whiskers can detect even the slightest breeze. Air movement tells them about nearby objects, about approaching threats, about the shape of the world around them. When cats yawn, it's not always tiredness. Sometimes it's a way to calm themselves when stressed, a reset button for anxiety. They have a remarkable ability to land on their feet from a fall, but it's not infallible. Low falls can be more dangerous than high ones because there's less time to orient. A cat's spine has 33 vertebrae, more than most mammals. This allows for the extreme flexibility that lets them squeeze through tight spaces and twist mid-air. When cats chatter at prey, they can't reach. They might be experiencing frustration or rehearsing the kill bite. The body prepares even when the mind knows action is impossible. They can drink with their tongue curled backward, creating a column of water that they catch before gravity pulls it down. It's physics and grace combined, 4 laps per second. When a cat grooms another cat, it's usually the dominant cat grooming the submissive one. But it's also bonding, affection, care, hierarchy softened by love. A cat's eyes can see 6 to 8 times better than human eyes in low light. Dusk and dawn belong to them, the gray hours when shadows hold secrets. When cats bring their ears forward, they're interested and alert. Everything in them points toward the object of attention. Ears, eyes, whiskers, all focused. They can make a sound called a trill, a melodious chirrup that's part meow, part purr. It's often a greeting, a sound of recognition and pleasure. Our playlist awaits whenever you need more of these gentle journeys, stories to carry you softly toward rest, night after night. When cats sleep curled in a circle, they're protecting their vital organs and conserving heat. It's efficiency and safety combined in one perfect shape. They have an excellent memory for locations of resources, where food is, where water is, where the best sleeping spots are. The mental map is detailed and accurate. A cat's purr can be as loud as a running dishwasher, around 25 decibels. That small body produces a surprisingly powerful sound, a vibration you can feel. When cats sleep touching you, even just a paw on your leg, they're maintaining connection while resting. Proximity brings comfort, even in sleep. They can sense when a storm is coming, possibly through changes in barometric pressure or electrical charges in the air. Something shifts, and they know. Breathe softly. Let go of the day. Let these stories wrap around you like warm darkness. A cat's territorial range can be quite large if they go outdoors. Several acres for males, smaller for females. But in their heart, home is where you are. When cats tuck their tail tight around their body, they're either cold or anxious. The tail wrapped close is protection, conservation, comfort-seeking. They have an average of 4 kittens per litter, though this varies widely. Each new life enters the world blind and helpless, opening eyes after about a week. A cat's gestation period is about 63 to 65 days. 2 months from conception to birth, from possibility to purring reality. When cats scratch furniture or scratch posts, they're removing the dead outer layer of their claws and marking territory. It's maintenance and communication in one action. They can recognize their owner's footsteps from far away. The particular rhythm, the weight, the speed. You're identified before you're seen. When a cat sits with its back to you, it's showing trust. They don't need to watch you. You're safe. They can focus on other things, confident in your presence. A cat's tongue has about 475 taste buds, compared to around 9,000 in humans. Their world of flavor is simpler, more focused on essentials. When cats sleep in a sunny spot, they're regulating temperature and also enjoying the light. Sunbathing cats are practicing ancient comfort, wordless contentment. They can live to be 20 years old or more, with good care. 2 decades of companionship, of shared silence, of quiet understanding built moment by moment. If this peaceful rhythm is helping you unwind, I'd be so grateful for a like. It helps others find their way here when they need rest most. A cat's sleeping positions change with the seasons, curled tight in winter, stretched out in summer, always adapting, always seeking the perfect balance of comfort and temperature. When cats groom right after you pet them, they're not rejecting your touch. They're processing the experience, redistributing their scent, restoring order to their fur. They have an excellent sense of direction and can find their way home from unfamiliar locations. Something in them remembers, tracks, navigates. A cat's eyes have a slit pupil that can expand to let in maximum light or contract to a narrow line in brightness. Constant adjustment, constant optimization of vision. When cats make bread on soft surfaces without a human present, they're self-soothing. The motion calms them, brings back that earliest sense of safety. They prefer to drink from wide, shallow bowls where their whiskers don't touch the sides. Whisker fatigue is real. Too much stimulation becomes uncomfortable. When a cat brings you a toy and drops it at your feet, it's often an invitation to play. Here, you throw, "I'll chase. Let's engage together." A cat's skeleton is different from most mammals. Those flexible shoulders, that articulated spine, the free-floating clavicle. They're engineered for grace. When cats sleep pressed against each other, they're bonding, and also staying warm. Heat shared is heat multiplied. Comfort shared becomes deeper comfort. They can go into heat as early as 4 months old, though 6 months is more common. The biology of reproduction begins early, even in these small bodies. The playlist holds many more stories, each one a gentle companion for sleepless nights, for stressed evenings, for any time you need to find peace. When cats' pupils dilate suddenly, it might be playfulness, excitement, or preparation to pounce. The eyes reveal the body's readiness. They have scent glands between their toes, which is why they sometimes knead or scratch more than seems necessary. They're leaving messages we cannot read. A cat's fur can indicate health. Dull or unkempt fur, that often means illness or stress. The coat tells stories of inner well-being or distress. When cats sleep in strange positions, sprawled awkwardly, twisted impossibly, they're deeply relaxed. Comfort has overridden all concern for dignity. They can recognize their name, but don't always respond. The recognition is there. The desire to acknowledge is optional. Very cat-like. Let your mind drift. Let thoughts become gentle clouds passing. Let sleep draw near like a familiar friend. A cat's sleep is divided into cycles. Light sleep, where they're easily roused, and REM sleep, where they dream. Watch their paws twitch, their whiskers quiver. Somewhere inside, they're running, hunting, playing. When cats groom themselves after a stressful event, it's called displacement grooming. The ritual of licking soothes anxiety, returns the world to order, one lick at a time. They have an exceptional ability to squeeze through narrow gaps because they can make their body temporarily smaller by compressing their rib cage. Structure becomes fluid when needed. A cat's retinas have a high concentration of rod cells which detect light and motion, but not color. This makes them excellent at seeing in dim conditions, but less able to appreciate the full spectrum we see. When cats trill and chirp at their kittens, they're communicating in a language of reassurance and instruction. Come here, follow me. This is safe. They can remember where they've hidden toys or treats for weeks. The memory is spatial, detailed, a mental map of treasures cached for later. When a cat licks its nose, it might be nervous or uncertain. Small gestures reveal internal states. The body speaks what the voice doesn't. A cat's purr vibrates at a frequency that promotes bone density and healing. They are literally healing themselves with sound, vibration as medicine. When cats sleep near their food bowl, they're either very relaxed or not feeling well. Healthy cats usually sleep away from food sources, following instinct about hygiene. They prefer to have their litter box in a quiet, low-traffic area. Privacy matters, even for cats, especially for vulnerable moments. If these stories are guiding you toward rest, a like would mean so much. A small gesture that helps others find this peaceful refuge. A cat's fur serves multiple purposes: insulation, waterproofing, camouflage, and sensory input. Each hair is functional, part of a living system. When cats groom your hair, they're treating you as part of their family group. You're being cared for, accepted, made clean and proper by their standards. They can detect frequencies of sound up to about 64 kilohertz. The world is full of music we cannot hear, pitched beyond our range into their domain. A cat's normal heart rate ranges from 140 to 220 beats per minute. Inside that small chest, a steady drum keeps time with life. When cats sleep in boxes, sinks, or other enclosed spaces, they're following an instinct for security. Walls close enough to touch mean protection, safety, control. They have a better sense of hearing than dogs, especially in higher frequencies. The world of small sounds belongs to cats, the rustle of a moth's wing, the squeak of a mouse 3 rooms away. When a cat gently bites you during petting, it might be overstimulation or a love bite. The line between pleasure and enough can be subtle. A cat's whiskers can detect changes in air currents around objects. In total darkness, they can navigate by feel alone, whiskers painting a picture of the space. When cats sleep with one eye slightly open, they're maintaining awareness. True rest, but not complete surrender. The vigilance of a creature that is both predator and prey. They can recognize the sound of their owner's car engine. Before you appear, they know you're coming. The specific rumble announces your return. Our playlist continues with more gentle stories, companions for quiet nights, for moments when you need to step away from the noise of the world. When cats' ears twitch during sleep, they're still processing sounds. The brain never fully stops monitoring, even in dreams. They have a specialized organ called the vomeronasal organ in the roof of their mouth. It analyzes pheromones and other chemical signals, reading messages in molecules. A cat's fur pattern is set before birth, determined by genetics and developmental factors. Each cat is born already wearing its unique design. When cats suddenly race around at high speed for no apparent reason, it's burning off energy and expressing joy. Pure exuberance, unfiltered and free. They can learn to open doors, turn on faucets, and solve puzzles. Intelligence applied to problems of access and comfort. Very practical, very feline. Close your eyes now if you haven't. Let the darkness be gentle. Let these whispers fade into dreams. A cat's brain represents about 0.9% of its body mass, compared to about 2% in humans. But size isn't everything. Those 90% shared brain regions create complex consciousness, rich internal life. When cats groom each other's heads and necks, it's called allo-grooming. They're caring for spots they can't easily reach themselves, cooperating in cleanliness. They have an excellent sense of balance, which allows them to walk along narrow ledges and tree branches without fear. The vestibular system calibrates constantly, adjusting for every shift of weight. A cat's claws grow continuously throughout their life, like our fingernails. Without scratching to wear them down, they'd eventually curl into the paw pad. Nature requires maintenance. When cats stare at you without blinking, they're either curious, challenging, or intensely focused. Context determines meaning. The same gaze can convey different messages. They can be either nocturnal or crepuscular, depending on when their food source is available. Biology adapts to opportunity. Instinct bends to circumstance. When a cat's tail quivers while standing upright, it's a greeting of pure joy. "I'm so happy to see you," expressed in trembling fur. A cat's whiskers are so sensitive, they can detect even the slightest breeze. Air movement becomes information, telling stories of nearby presence. When cats sleep in high places, they're following instinct for safety and surveillance. Height means advantage, visibility, the ability to see threats before they arrive. They prefer to hunt in the early morning and late evening when light is dim but not dark. Those in-between times, those twilight hours when the world softens. If you're drifting peacefully, I'd love alike to share this calm with others searching for rest tonight. A cat's normal breathing rate is about 20 to 30 breaths per minute at rest. Watch the gentle rise and fall, the rhythm of life continuing, steady and sure. When cats groom right before guests arrive, they're self-soothing. The familiar ritual calms nervousness about changes in the environment. They can remember traumatic experiences for years. The body remembers danger, stores it as caution, as wisdom earned through fear. A cat's sense of taste is limited, but their sense of smell compensates. They taste with their nose as much as their tongue, scent completing flavor. When cats scratch the floor around their food bowl, they're exhibiting caching behavior, an instinct to bury food for later, even when there's no actual dirt to move. They have an exceptional ability to sense your mood through facial expressions and body language. They read us constantly, interpreting our small signals. When a cat chatters its jaw, it might be frustration or practicing the killing bite. The body rehearses even when the prey is unreachable. A cat's pupils can change from slit to round in seconds, adapting to light levels with remarkable speed. The eye is a precision instrument, constantly calibrating. When cats sleep stretched out on their side or back, they're showing complete trust. Vulnerable positions require safe spaces. They can detect the faintest vibrations through their paw pads. The floor speaks to them in tremors we cannot feel, telling of approaching footsteps, of distant disturbances. The playlist is always there, a collection of peaceful journeys waiting for whenever you need them. When cats purr while eating, they're expressing contentment, pleasure doubled, the satisfaction of food, plus the safety to enjoy it. They have an excellent memory for routes and can remember the way to places they've only visited once or twice. The path is stored, recalled when needed. A cat's tear ducts can become blocked, causing that crusty discharge in the corner of their eyes. It's usually harmless, just needing gentle cleaning. When cats sleep curled with their nose tucked under their tail, they're keeping their nose warm and protecting it, the most sensitive part, carefully shielded. They can recognize their reflection as themselves by about 16 weeks of age. Self-awareness arrives early, the understanding of, I am this body. Let all tension drain away. Let your body become heavy and soft. Let sleep come naturally, inevitably. A cat's hunting behavior is hardwired, triggered by movement, even in well-fed pets. The instinct runs deeper than hunger. It's about the pursuit, the pounce, the capture. When cats sleep in a sunny spot and then move when the sun shifts, they're following warmth. Comfort is worth relocating for, again and again. They have an excellent memory for people who've mistreated them. The body remembers harm, stores it as knowledge, as necessary caution. A cat's whiskers can detect prey in complete darkness. Vibrations in the air guide them to moving creatures they cannot see, a sense beyond our understanding. When cats yawn widely, they're often stretching their jaw muscles and taking in more oxygen. It's maintenance, preparation, a small reset. They prefer their territory to smell like them. That's why they rub on everything, creating a scent landscape where they are home, where everything bears their mark. When a cat's ears are flat but not completely back, it's uncertain or anxious, not quite fear, not quite calm. Somewhere in between, assessing. A cat's retractable claws are protected when not in use, staying sharp for hunting and climbing. They unfurl like weapons when needed, then disappear again. When cats sleep near each other without touching, they're balancing the desire for company with the need for personal space. Together, but separate, comfortable in proximity. They can tolerate higher temperatures than humans, up to about 126 degrees Fahrenheit, before showing discomfort. Those desert origins remain in the blood. I hope this gentle journey is bringing you peace. A comment about what soothes you most would be wonderful and helps create this calm community together. A cat's ears can move independently to pinpoint the exact location of a sound. Stereophonic hearing, each ear gathering information, the brain triangulating position. When cats groom excessively, it might be stress, allergies, or boredom. Behavior tells stories of inner states, asking for help through repetition. They have an internal clock so accurate they can wake you at the same time every day. Routine becomes biology, expectation hardwired into awareness. A cat's nose changes texture throughout the day, sometimes cool and moist, sometimes warm and dry. Temperature and moisture vary naturally, telling stories of activity and rest. When cats sleep with their paws over their eyes, they're blocking light. Even in sleep, they seek optimal conditions, adjusting for comfort. They can make facial expressions, those subtle ones. The position of ears, whiskers, eyes, all combine to express emotion for those who learn to read them. When a cat follows you to the bathroom, it's not being intrusive. You're vulnerable in there, and they're keeping watch. Protection offered through presence. A cat's fur can stand on end through piloerection, making them look larger. Fear or aggression triggers this response. The body's attempt to intimidate, to seem more formidable. When cats sleep in your lap and then leave when you shift slightly, they're not rejecting you. The perfect position was disturbed. They must find it again elsewhere. They prefer to have multiple escape routes in any room. Being cornered is terrifying. Always an exit, always a way out. That's comfort. Our playlist holds many more stories like this. Gentle words for quiet nights, companions for the journey toward rest. When cats purr at different volumes, they're emphasizing different needs or feelings. Loud purring might be, I need something. Soft purring might be, I'm content. They can distinguish between different people's footsteps. The pattern, the weight, the rhythm. Everyone walks uniquely, and cats catalog these differences. A cat's teeth are pointed and sharp, designed for gripping and tearing. 30 small weapons hiding behind soft lips, revealed only when necessary. When cats sleep pressed against the arm of a chair or couch, they're enjoying the security of having something solid at their back. Protection from one direction is protection enough. They can see blue and green wavelengths best. The world appears in cooler tones, less vibrant perhaps in reds and oranges, but rich in other spectrums. Breathe deeply now. Feel yourself floating. Let these final whispers carry you gently into sleep. A cat's life is a collection of small moments. Patches of sun on the floor, the rustle of a treat bag, the warm lap appearing at just the right time, birds outside the window, the first light of morning, the last quiet of night. They teach us, these small creatures, about the importance of rest, about taking time to groom, to stretch, to simply sit and observe, about the value of routine and the comfort of familiar spaces. When cats purr in their sleep, they're content even in dreams. The sound continues, that healing vibration, that fundamental frequency of happiness. They remind us that love doesn't always need grand gestures. Sometimes it's just presence. Sitting nearby, a slow blink, a head pressed briefly against your hand. These small things matter most. A cat's entire being is designed for efficiency and grace. Every whisker serves a purpose. Every vertebra allows movement. Every sense gathers information. Nothing is wasted. Everything has meaning. When cats choose to spend their lives with us, it's a choice made daily. They could leave, could live wild, but they stay. They choose the warmth of home, the comfort of companionship, the bond built over years. They've walked beside humans for 10,000 years. Through all our changes, our wars, our wanderings, our settlements, cats have remained. Constant companions, asking little, offering much. Thank you for joining me on this gentle journey through 1,000 moments of feline wonder. I hope you've enjoyed exploring these peaceful stories, and if you found comfort here, please consider liking this video and checking out our playlist for more relaxing content. A cat sleeping somewhere nearby, purring softly, the quiet house, the gentle dark, the soft breathing that means safety, that means home. Let your breathing slow even more now. Let your body sink completely into rest. Let go of everything except this moment. Close your eyes and feel the warmth, the safety, the peace. You are safe. You are calm. You are enough. Let sleep come now, gentle and natural, like a cat curling up in the sun, inevitable, peaceful, complete. Rest well. Sweet dreams. The sound of gentle purring fades slowly into silence, into sleep, into peace. The night is soft around you now, and there are still more whispers to share, more gentle moments about these creatures who've chosen to walk beside us through time. Breathe slowly. Let each word settle over you like falling snow, quiet and cool and peaceful. A cat's paw pads are as unique as fingerprints, each ridge and whorl forming patterns found nowhere else in the world. 4 small signatures pressed into the earth with every step, unrepeatable, singular. When cats dream, their whiskers twitch and their paws paddle softly against the air. Somewhere in sleep, they're running through tall grass, chasing shadows, living adventures we can only imagine. The dream world is as real to them as waking, perhaps more so. They can hear their name among many other words, but often choose their moment to respond. The recognition is instant. The reaction is optional. They know you're calling. They're simply deciding if now is the time to acknowledge it. A cat's tongue has nearly 300 papillae per square centimeter. Each tiny hook works in concert with hundreds of others, creating the most efficient grooming tool nature ever designed. Mathematics and biology woven into something that feels like sandpaper kisses. When cats sit in cardboard boxes that are too small for them, cramming themselves into impossible spaces, they're not being silly. They're following instinct. Enclosed spaces mean safety, even when those spaces require contortion to occupy. Comfort is worth a little awkwardness. They can recognize the sound of a can opener from anywhere in the house. That specific metallic whir means possibility, means dinner, means something good is about to happen. Hope has a sound, and cats know it intimately. If you're still here, still listening, still drifting on these words, I'm so grateful. A like would help others find this peaceful space when they need it most. When a cat stretches after waking, extending each leg fully, arching its back into an impossible curve, it's reawakening the body. Muscles remember their purpose. Bones realign. The body prepares to be body again after the stillness of sleep. A cat's eyes have a layer of tissue called the tapetum lucidum that reflects light back through the retina. This gives photoreceptors a second chance to capture light, amplifying vision in darkness. They see with double efficiency, making the most of every photon. When cats chirp at birds, that distinctive chattering sound, they might be mimicking bird calls or experiencing a reflexive reaction to prey that's visible but unreachable. The body wants to hunt, creates the motions, the sounds, even when action is impossible. Desire made audible. They can lower their body temperature slightly during sleep to conserve energy. The internal thermostat adjusts, efficient even in rest, making the most of every resource. When a cat touches its nose to yours, it's the ultimate gesture of trust and affection. Nose to nose is how they greet family, how they say you are mine and I am yours without needing words. It's intimacy in its purest form. A cat's bones are lighter than those of most mammals their size. The skeleton is built for agility, not weight, strength without heaviness, structure without burden. When cats knead with a rhythmic, meditative quality, their eyes half closed and their purr steady, they've transcended the present moment. They're everywhere and nowhere, simultaneously, kitten and adult, then and now, memory and reality, merged into pure sensation. They prefer to drink moving water because instinct tells them it's fresher, safer. A running stream is less likely to harbor bacteria than standing water. 10,000 years of domestication haven't erased that ancient knowledge. Check our playlist when morning comes. More stories wait there, gentle companions for other nights when sleep feels distant. When a cat sleeps with its tail wrapped around its body, that tail serves as both blanket and boundary. Warmth contained, space defined, comfort optimized. A cat's meow has evolved specifically through interaction with humans. Feral cats rarely meow at each other as adults. They developed this vocalization for us, learned what sounds make us respond, what tones open doors and fill bowls. They speak a language they invented just for talking to us. When cats groom themselves after you pet them, they're not erasing your touch, they're processing it. Your scent mixes with theirs. Your touch disrupted their carefully arranged fur. They're integrating the experience, making it part of themselves. They can jump from a standstill to several times their height because their hind legs are incredibly muscular relative to their size. Power coiled and waiting, released in a single fluid motion. Potential energy becoming kinetic, stillness becoming flight. A cat's purr can change frequency based on their emotional state or needs. A cat in pain might purr at a different frequency than a content cat. The sound is communication, healing, self-soothing, all these things at once. When cats slowly open and close their paws while resting, they're in a state of deep contentment. The body expresses what the voice cannot, happiness made visible in the gentle flexing of toes. They have an exceptional ability to right themselves during a fall because they lack a functional collarbone. The free-floating clavicle allows the shoulders to rotate independently, letting them twist their front half separately from their rear half. The body becomes two coordinated parts, working together to find the ground. When a cat licks you and then gently bites, it's called a love bite. Affection expressed through the language available to them. Grooming mixed with playfulness. Care tempered with excitement. A cat's eyes are positioned to give them a wide field of view, excellent for detecting movement in their peripheral vision. They're built to notice what's approaching from the sides, to always have awareness of their surroundings. Let your thoughts become as quiet as a sleeping cat. Let your breathing match their gentle rhythm, in and out, soft and steady. When cats sleep in strange places, on top of the refrigerator, in an empty sink, balanced on a narrow shelf, they're seeking either warmth, height, or enclosure. Sometimes all three. They're architects of their own comfort, finding what they need wherever it exists. They can recognize their owner's voice from among several people speaking. Your particular frequency, your rhythm, your tone. It's cataloged, remembered, distinguished from all others. A cat's normal body temperature is slightly higher than ours, which is why they seek out warm spots and why they feel so warm when they sleep on us. They're little furnaces radiating steady heat. When cats groom each other, the one being groomed usually stays very still, accepting the care with patience. It's trust made tangible. I will hold still while you tend to me. I believe you mean well. They have an excellent sense of time and routine. They know when feeding time is, when bedtime is, when you usually come home. Internal clocks tick away, accurate and insistent. When a cat sits with its back to you, tail curled around its paws, looking out a window, it's content. It doesn't need to watch you. You're safe. The world outside is more interesting right now, and that's okay. You'll still be there when it turns around. A cat's whiskers are so sensitive, they can detect changes in air pressure. Before a storm, before changes in weather, the whiskers know. The air itself tells stories to those delicate sensors. When cats sleep, touching you even slightly, a paw on your arm, their back against your leg, they're maintaining connection. Proximity brings comfort, even in the vulnerability of sleep. Our playlist continues this journey through many more gentle nights. Stories waiting to carry you softly toward rest. They can hear the faintest sounds, a moth landing on the wall, a mouse moving between floors, footsteps 2 rooms away. The world is never truly quiet for a cat. There's always something to hear, always some small sound painting a picture of the invisible. When a cat brings you a gift, a toy, a leaf, something small, it's sharing resources. You are family. Family shares what they have, even when what they have is just a crumpled piece of paper retrieved from under the couch. A cat's sleep cycle includes periods of deep REM sleep where they dream vividly. Watch their paws move, their whiskers twitch, their nose wrinkle. Somewhere inside, adventures unfold, hunts succeed, prey is caught and released, and caught again. When cats purr while falling asleep, the sound gradually grows quieter until it fades into breathing, a gentle transition from waking to sleep, marked by that healing vibration slowly dissolving into silence. They prefer enclosed spaces for sleeping because walls nearby mean protection. Nothing can approach from those directions. Only the open side needs watching, and even that can be ignored in deepest safety. When a cat's ears move constantly, swiveling independently, tracking sounds in different directions, they're maintaining awareness of their environment. Even at rest, they monitor, they listen, they stay informed about the world around them. A cat's life is measured not in years, but in moments, thousands of small instances of comfort, of connection, of quiet companionship. Each purr, each head bump, each time they chose to sit nearby adds up to a relationship built from tiny, repeated gestures of trust. Let your breathing become even softer now. Feel yourself sinking deeper. Let go completely. When cats groom right before sleep, they're performing a ritual of transition. Clean fur, organized whiskers, everything in its place. Now rest can come. Now sleep is earned. They can find the warmest spot in any room as if drawn by invisible threads. Heat-seeking creatures always moving toward comfort, toward the patches of sun, the warm laptops, the recently vacated chairs still holding body heat. A cat's final gift is the privilege of their company. They didn't have to choose you, didn't have to stay, didn't have to curl up in your lap or purr against your chest. But they did. Every single time, they chose you, and in that choosing, in those thousands of small moments of connection, something beautiful was built, something quiet and profound, a relationship measured in slow blinks and shared silence, in presence without demands, in companionship that asks nothing but gives everything. The night wraps around you now, soft as fur. Your breathing matches the rhythm of a sleeping cat, steady, peaceful, inevitable. Let sleep come like a cat approaching, quiet, gentle, on its own terms. You are safe here. You are peaceful here. You are enough, exactly as you are. Rest now, deeply, completely. The stories will still be here tomorrow, but tonight, just sleep. Just sleep. Soft silence. Gentle darkness. Peace.